Okay, welcome back. So, as we were talking about the rate laws, the rate equations, and the steady state approximation, let's look at the integrated rate equation. Integrated rate law. Okay. Now, what do you mean by integrated rate law? Integrated rate law means the reactions. Okay, where you have a rate law, and that rate law is basically nothing but the rate equation, and that rate equations can be integrated, and during this and after this integration you can get the particular form of a concentration of a reactant and the product, and you will get an idea about the rate of the reaction. Okay. So let's talk about the first integrated rate law, about the zeroth order reactions. Zeroth order, I would say zeroth order kinetics. It's called a zeroth order kinetics, where your order is zero. Okay. Now, for a general reactions, if we talk about A2 products, general reaction A2 products. Okay. So what will be the rate law? Rate law will be minus of dA by dt into rate constant into concentration of A. But since the reaction is a zeroth order reaction, so we will put a zero here. So that is basically the K. So it's a constant. So we will think that, okay, for the reaction the rate is constant. Okay. Acha. Now experimentally your order is zero here. Experimentally your order is zero here. Okay. Acha. We will forgetting about the stoichiometry here. So it will be 1 by A here. Okay. Acha. Now let's say just rearrange minus of dA by dt and A into K. Let's say this is also a constant, this is also a constant. Let's give it as a Ka. Your A multiplied by K is equal to Ka. Okay. Achha. So what we getting here? We get dA by dt is basically Ka, a constant. Okay. So this is the rate equation. Rate law. This is the rate law. Achha. Now, here, in spite of the fact that in the rate law, the concentration of A is not there. The concentration of A is not mentioned. Concentration is not mentioned, but this concentration of A decreases with time. Correct? Definitely the concentration of A decreases with time, but it is not mentioned in the rate law. So what is happening here? Because in the rate determining step, which actually gives you the reaction, in the rate determining step, the rate law is basically zeroth order, that is concentration independent. But in the other steps, other than the rate determining step, your A is still there. A is still there, that concentration is important. So that is the reason why the zeroth order reaction, the zeroth order reaction is a multi-step process. It's a multi-step process. The zeroth order reaction is a multi-step process. Why? I am telling again. Since in the rate law, which actually gives you the information of the rate determining step, there is no mentioned about the A. That is the reactant. But if you see experimentally, the concentration of A decreases with time. That means what? That means there is A, it is not there in the rate determining step, but it is there in the reaction. That means it is there in the other steps of the reaction. So what we can say, the zeroth order reaction is a multi-step process. Okay, let's look at a reaction where the reaction is of an example of a zeroth order reaction. Let's look at an example. Okay, the reaction is basically the reaction is iodination of acetone. It's called iodination of acetone. Okay, iodination of acetone, a reaction, halogen kind of reaction. So experimentally, the rate is basically rate constant into concentration of acetone. Rate constant into concentration of acetone. This is small k. Rate constant is always a small k, and equilibrium constant is capital K. Okay. But what we found out, they found out it is first order, experimentally first order, but it is order 1, but it is zeroth order with respect to iodine. It is with respect to acetone, it is first order, but with respect to iodine, it is zeroth order. That means iodine does not involve in the rate determining step. Let's look at the mechanism first. It will be more clear if we look at the mechanism. What is it? Definitely you have acetone here, COCH3, CH3. Now, since it is the iodine is a higher proton. So what will happen? This will be protonated. Okay, this will be protonated. So what will happen? It can form an enol. It will form an enol. It will form an enol. Okay, and later on, when iodine is attacked here, this will form an enol, and then your iodination will take place. Okay, so what is happening if I look at this reaction? Then acetone, there is a reversible reaction, it forms an enol, and then you get your iodinated enol, iodinated product. To get your iodinated product. Okay, acha. Now in this reaction, your enol is the intermediate. Your enol is the intermediate in this reaction, right? So what we can write here, d of enol, can we write dt will be equal to the rate of formation of the enol. Okay, let's say the rate constant of this reaction is K1 and the backward reaction is your K minus 1. Okay, and this reaction is K2. Let's say. So enol is basically then enol is formed by the acetone. Enol is formed by the acetone. So this is K1 by acetone. Correct? And enol is also getting depleted also. So minus rate of minus K minus 1 of concentration of enol. And again, enol is also depleted to the iodinated product. And in this enol, it is enol plus iodine also. So minus K2 into enol plus iodine. This is the enol. This is the enol. So enol plus iodine. Correct? Okay. Now what we are assuming here? We are assuming that this goes to a steady state approximation. And what is the steady state approximation means here? The steady state approximation means that this is here, this is equal to 0. Why? Your intermediate concentration of intermediate is constant throughout the time. So what we can write from here? We can modify this reaction and we can write the concentration of the enol is basically equal to, then what? Constant K1 by acetone divided by K minus 1 plus K2 into I2. Correct? So this is the concentration, okay. And then what is the rate? Let me write the rate of the reaction then. What is the rate of the reaction? Okay, rate V, which is expected to be what? K2 into concentration of the enol into concentration of the I2. Okay, let's remove, put the enol concentration here. So we will get K1 into K2 into concentration of the acetone multiplied by concentration of the I2 divided by the concentration of K by K minus 1 plus K2 into I2. Okay, so this is the composite rate of the reaction. Okay, now what if we look at what was acetone K1 K minus 1 enol, and then you are getting the iodinated enol. Correct, this is K2. Now we can say from here that if K2, if this is the rate determining step, then if this is the RDS of the reaction, then your K2 will be highly greater than K1 and K minus 1. Correct? If this is the rate determining step, which is the slowest step, then K2 will be the faster. Correct? So this reaction, this equation changes to now what? So we can ignore this part and we can write K1 into K2 concentration of the acetone multiplied by concentration of the iodine divided by K2 into I2. Now K2 I2 cancels out, so you will get K1 into concentration of the acetone. Which actually we get in experimentally. That means it is first order with respect to acetone and zeroth order with respect to iodine. This way you can mechanism wise you can calculate the rate of the composite reaction. We will discuss this more, and this is one of the example of the zeroth order reaction with respect to the iodine, and we will discuss this more in the when we will discuss the complex reaction. Okay, now let's look into the integrated form of the zeroth kinetics, zeroth order kinetics. So where were we? Zeroth order kinetics. So what we get generally dA by dt, which is equal to Ka. That's what we determined from the okay. Now or minus of d of concentration A is equal to Ka into dt. Okay. Let's assume that concentration of A is going from A0 to AT. A0 to AT. Okay. So what we will get? So if we integrate it A0 to AT, d of A is equal to Ka integrating 0 to t time t. We'll get this, or what is this? Minus of At minus A0 is equal to Ka into t. Okay, Ka into t, or A0. Okay, let's load this. At minus At plus A0, which is Ka into t, or At is equal to At minus A0 into minus of Ka into t. Let's little bit rearrange. At is equal to A0 minus of Ka into t. Now if we plot the time, the A concentration of A with respect to time, what we will get? We will get a sharp fall. And what is this? This is your A0. Okay. And there will be definitely, there will be a t equal to 0. If you put t equal to 0, t equal to, this is, if you put At equal to 0, A0 equal to 0, then, so at T is equal to infinite times. It is equal to T infinite. That is when the reaction will be at completion. When the reaction will be at completion, then what will happen? Your A0 will be equal to 0. A0 will be equal to 0. Your all the initial concentration is gone. So in that case, your T infinite will be AT divided by Ka. Ka. So what we can say from here, that the zeroth order reaction indeed gets completed. So zeroth order reaction completes. It's complete because there is a fixed value of T infinite. Now what about the half-life of the reaction? Now what about the half-life? In case of half-life, T is equal to T half, your AT is basically A0 by T, 2. Correct? Now if I put this here, this value, you will get T half is basically T half is basically T infinite by 2. So exactly this at T by 2, you exactly get A by 2. Okay? T half is basically T infinite by 2. Okay? T half is basically T infinite by 2. And that is basically T half is AT by 2 Ka. Basically, you get direct half from here. Okay? So, what is the major thing from here? The zeroth order reaction is a multi-step reaction, and the zeroth order reaction always gets completed during this course. Now, this is the integrated rate equation, and the concentration form of a zeroth order kinetics, which is very important for your examination. Okay, so next lecture, what we will talk about the first order kinetics and second order kinetics, then the different the complex reactions. Okay.